DMC 25, the DadMan Chronicles, episode 25. It has been about, just over 5 months since I last posted. July 11th was when I last posted, and it's now just a few days before Christmas 2025. One thing I've learned about myself is I tend to get very withdrawn and pull back if things are going badly for me, or emotionally challenging, spiritually challenging, mentally challenging. And man, oh man, that is 100% the case for the last 5 months. A lot of things, a lot of big things came out in the last 5 months. Mostly, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it having to do with the state of my kids. Found out one of my children, serious medical issues that we've had to deal with, some academic issues we've had to deal with, some issues related to my, how do I put this? Issues that were severely affecting my children's mental well-being, a person that was severely affecting my children's mental well-being. So, combine that with also in the last couple of months, we've been working with a consulting company to try to make my gym business really take that to a place where we are genuinely going to be profitable. We're kind of at a, operational break even. And we're at a place where, looking forward, there wasn't really a path that was going to be more than just a break even the way we were going. So we've had to make some really hard changes that affected our staff and, affected us in the process. But the majority of it has been issues with my children. My wife has been having some medical issues and stuff, but that's manageable, or at least not as big a crisis. I don't want to diminish that, because what she's dealing with is real stuff, and it's hard stuff. But the good news is, which is probably why I'm making a video now, we are, at least for the moment, getting our heads above water. My kids are doing better. My kids are doing really well. Business is on the right path, hopefully. All the challenges that were kind of in place are on the way up, if you will, or at least are for now. One of the things I've come to realize is when I went through my divorce, my separation about 6 years ago, it was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. I've talked about that in other videos, but it was a finite thing. It was like, okay, this is a finite thing that I have to deal with. And as long as my children are happy and healthy, I will navigate this. I will get through it, and then I will move on with my life. And when it comes to medical issues with my kids, mental and psychological issues affecting my children, that really knocked me sideways. It's really destabilizing, and trying to cope with that stuff really put me in a dark place for quite a while. And it left me feeling there was kind of a mental shift for me. When I was going through my divorce, I was like, this is hard, this is brutal, this is emotionally gut-wrenching, but I will do what it takes to get through this, and then when I get through this, life will go on just fine. Over the last several months, my wife will tell you, I was in a place where I was like, things are never gonna stay good. And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that sounds naive. Maybe that sounds entitled. Maybe it is. But I had always had a much more optimistic perspective prior to the last couple of months. But the last couple of months really put me in a headspace where I'm like, it reminded me of Deadpool Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool talks about when he finds out, when the Deadpool character finds out that he has basically terminal cancer. He's like, life is just a series of shit shows with little intervals of peace in between, something like that. I'm sure I'm mangling that line. And I was really starting to feel that way. I was like, things don't trend in the direction of working out. Which, it all sounds absurd. It sounds absurd as I say it. Because I'm like, I have an incredible life. Let's just be very, very honest. Like, incredibly fortunate in every way imaginable, quite honestly. And so I kick myself, first of all, for complaining at all, for having anything less than an amazingly positive attitude. But in my defense, when your children are suffering, everything gets chucked out the window. So it has been a rough 5 months. And whether it's a long-term trend or whether it's a brief interlude, I can only hope that things just keep getting better and things stay good for at least a little while. I'm so freaking emotional. I've got nothing left emotionally. I mean, up until just a few weeks ago, if I had tried to talk about this stuff, I would have been in tears probably in the first 2 minutes just referencing all this stuff. So I'd be curious, what your perspectives are on this. Like I said, I have very, so long now that my kids are doing better, my wife is good or is okay. Business is probably going to head in the right direction. Like, I have very little. I have nothing to complain about, nothing worthy of complaint compared with a lot of people out there. But also, when my kids were hurting, that sucked the very soul out of me. It's one thing if I'm going through something and my kids are good, then I can handle whatever come what may. But if my kids are hurting and I feel like I have limited ability to do anything about it, or I have no ability to do anything about it, or I have to rely on doctors, or that really wrecked me. And I was in a really dark place there for a couple of months. There's still problems. There's still stuff going on. And I'm sure, I'm not saying that I think life should just be all like rainbows and unicorns. Shit comes along that kicks you in the face on a somewhat regular basis. But I just hope it's not. I hope it doesn't permanently hurt my children. That's I hope none of the people that I truly love and care for are permanently hurt by what they're going through. And when I can't do much about it, it really wrecked me emotionally. So I just wanted to check in. I hope for all of you guys, for all of you out there, I hope for you that you're good, your kids are good, the things, the challenges you're facing are things you've got a handle on. If not, all I can offer you is to say, hang in there. Keep taking charge of all that you can affect. Do the best with what you've got. I've got no great advice. This is no pearls of wisdom kind of thing. But just wanted to say hi. Wanted to check in. All right. We'll talk soon.